Welcome to In Tune. I'm your co-host, Matt Rector, an aspiring luthier from Baltimore, Maryland.
And I'm your other co-host, Ethan Morset, a music producer and founder of Blue Haven Music based in Minnesota.
Our goal is to provide value to enterprising musicians, artists, and craftspeople by sharing our conversations and the lessons we've learned along the way.
If you like our content, help us out by following us and giving us a positive rating on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. Tune in for new episodes on the first and third Wednesday of each month.
This is episode 42. Today, Ethan and I are doing a little update episode. We just got through the lovely but sometimes very busy and hectic holiday season. And pretty soon, I work in jewelry retail, so for me, we kind of go from one thing to the next. We go from the holidays to Valentine's Day to Mother's Day, et cetera, et cetera.
Never ending.
Yeah, it's a cycle, for sure. But anyway, couple things we're going to discuss today. Just talking about some of the projects that we're working on, how we're feeling about the new year, as well as if we got anything really cool for Christmas or for the holidays that we want to share. Ethan, I will let you go first. Why don't we talk about gifts, presents? It's all about the presents, right?
It's all that matters. Is the presents at Christmas. I got some really cool gifts. The coolest I got was some Sweetwater gift cards. So, I'm trying to think. I got some other stuff that wasn't Sweetwater gift cards, but I specifically requested Sweetwater gift cards because all the stuff I want is too expensive for someone to actually buy me. So the best thing that somebody can give me right now is basically help with paying for one of the big ticket items, which, as Matt knows, one of the contenders or possibilities is a new guitar. But I'm not sure about that yet.
I'm offended that you'd be buying a guitar from Sweetwater instead of custom ordering one for me.
Well, I will someday, but you also owe me a guitar.
I don't know if I owe you a guitar.
You don't sell Rector guitar gift cards yet, so how is someone supposed to get me a gift card?
Ethan's looking at a new electric guitar, possibly a baritone. And I really haven't dabbled much in electric guitar construction. I'm more interested in acoustic instruments, so
yeah,
maybe someday, but not really on my radar at this time.
Right. I want a 12-string guitar. Make me a 12-string guitar.
Ooh, that'd be fun to do.
I've never. That's such a unique sound, and I don't have anything obviously like that. Yeah, I know that's not terribly exciting, but again, that's the reality. It sounds like you have relatives that I'm guessing you tell them what types of things you might want and they get them for you. But I'm at the point where I basically everything I want is well over $200, right? So it's I'm not going to ask someone to buy that for me. Mm-hmm. So gift cards.
Nice. Yeah, I have to say I got lucky this year. My parents basically, my mom mostly, kind of told me to go all out. I don't know about you or your family, but for me growing up, my mom definitely did the Christmas shopping. Mm-hmm. So it was I'd open stuff up and it'd be a surprise for me and also for my dad. He's like, "Oh, let me see that thing I got you."
Yep, that sounds about right.
I don't know if that was your experience, but that was definitely how it was in our house.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember my dad being really surprised about what I got, but
So yeah, so my mom kind of told me to go all out this year, which was very generous. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they were feeling so generous this year, but it was nice of them. So I've got some goodies. Got some tools. I guess I got a bunch of things to share. So
go
sorry,
for it.
Ethan. I gotta
I
get up.
all I got is gift cards, so I'm not gonna show those.
All right, so I got this Veritas rabbit plane. Very cool. Very nice. It's a
Very
right-handed skew rabbit plane. And actually, I got a gift card to put towards this. Kind of like what you're saying about Sweetwater.
hmm pretty cool.
I got this limited edition Blue Spruce. Blue Spruce is the brand. It's not. This mallet is not actually made of spruce, but I got this mallet. It has a resin infused orange dyed flamed maple head,
Wow.
and the handle is made of lignum vitae, which is, one of the densest, hardest, commercially available woods. So
Oh, I know. I
pretty
know.
crazy.
I know. So that's a mallet?
Yes, it is a mallet. It's round. It's for like carving, chopping mortises. It's a smaller mallet, so it's for like light duty work.
It kind of looks a little bit like that ball and cup game? It kind of looks
Oh
like
yeah,
the cup
yeah, it
on a
does.
stick.
This is what I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up on this very well. My lighting in here is kind of weird because I have really bright overhead lights because this is a workshop environment. But yeah, you can kind of see the limited edition logo. It's orange because it's like a pumpkin. It's for the fall.
Oh, gotcha.
Limited release.
Nice.
Um, my lovely wife got me this. This it's called a bird cage awl,
That for like
and
stabbing people.
it's yeah, that's the main purpose. No, it's just it's for basically poking holes. Is pretty much what it's for.
In people.
No, it's for like if you're gonna like drill in a screw or like drive a nail in. It can help to start by like creating a little
Divot.
hole, and this has a square profile, which
Mm,
helps with control. It's actually easier to like get it centered than like a round one for some reason.
interesting.
And the handle is made of red heart, and this is made by Shenandoah Tool Works in Virginia.
Very cool.
I try to support, like smaller American-made tool makers, that sort of thing.
True American Matt.
Um, I was in a Secret Santa this year, and I got these carpenter pencils,
Nice.
along with a book that I guess still hasn't arrived. But maybe the coolest thing I got all year, you're gonna love this, Ethan. The coolest thing I got from my Secret Santa was this. It's called the Original Light Bowl. 16 colors in one device. Fits any toilet. Make your life colorful all day.
Wow.
And it's a two pack. So I can attach it, to my toilet.
It's so you can go to the
And
bathroom when it's dark.
yeah, it says fits any toilet. Midnight convenience. Prevents accidents. So pretty sweet. I gotta get those installed.
Dude, that's life changing.
I
It's
know,
like a
right?
nightlight for your toilet.
It's incredible. This is a pretty cool book I got from my sister-in-law. It's from one of my
It's
favorite woodworking publications.
it's
It's a
kind of
big book.
blurry.
It's issues 4 through 6 of Mortise and Tenon magazine, put together in a book.
Cool. Cool.
And then I have a couple other things I just want to share that I've got here. Oh, I guess, yeah.
A knife, cool.
I'm making this. I made it as a gift for someone.
For stabbing people.
No, it's for someone who is really into cooking, and their name is Austin. So, you can see that there's a little mosaic pin in there with the letter A.
Yep.
But it's turned out pretty good. I got to do some final polishing, and also, I wanted to ask him if he wanted an engraving on the blade. So it's currently taped up to prevent me from marring the surface as I'm working on other things. But still waiting on the engraving. He hasn't gotten back to me about that. Yeah, so that's, I guess, by Christmas / holidays. I did want to share something that I made at a class I took recently. This doesn't have to do with woodworking. I think Ethan already knows what this is.
I mean, how can I not? I literally can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I took a riveting broom making class.
Only you would do that, Matt.
Well, not only me. I mean, there were like 6 people in the class, so it wasn't just me, Ethan.
Okay, all the Matt Rectors in Baltimore, Maryland were there.
Yeah, so I made 2 different types of brooms. 2 different types of hand brooms. This is a whisk broom.
Oh.
And it's pretty fun. It's a fun craft you can make pretty quickly. It's useful. I've been using it to sweep shavings and dust off my workbench. This is called a turkey tail broom.
Makes sense.
And pretty cool. So
that's cool. You could start another Rector business called Rector Brooms.
It's my new hobby.
It's the thing that you're going gung-ho in.
I'm in my broom phase.
You're in your broom phase right now. Oh my gosh. Dude, if that happened, I don't know what Abby would do.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty rewarding to make these things, and it doesn't take that long. It's kind of fun. Like, I kind of, and the supplies are pretty, they're pretty, you don't need a lot to get going.
Sure. To make something of utility that's for not a lot of effort.
Yeah, so I'm kind of tempted to, make some more of these things, but,
It's starting.
I have to be careful because I know myself. So I'm treading carefully with the brooms.
Matt's gonna stay up until 3 a.m. this morning researching how to make different types of brooms.
You know me so well.
I do. You will research it and you'll try to figure out all the things that nobody else cares to dig into because you like knowing,
or
all
no
the
one else that
details.
just know all the things that no one else cares about, period.
Well, you've always liked digging in, when it was when you started getting into whiskey, understanding the flavor profiles and different types of whiskey and where it's made, and I'm it's alcohol, I'm cool with it.
Yep, Ethan's.
I know what I like, and I stick with it. But no, I mean, I learned from you, so I'm glad that you spend time on that and then teach me. Maybe you can teach me how to make the brooms.
It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, I'll teach you broom making. It's gonna be your new hobby too.
Matt, we'll know Matt has gone too far when he starts making broom a mop out of his own hair.
That would be crazy. I don't think my hair's stiff enough for that though. It's too
For a mop, maybe.
No, maybe for a mop, but that would be disturbing. So
Yes, it would.
if that ever happens, then I think You need to make some calls for me. But anyway, we're
Oh
getting
my
off
God.
topic. Um, that was basically it for me for the holidays. Thank you to all of my friends and family. I got some other things, but those are the things that are sort of craft and woodworking related. I got some clothes and things like that. But thank you to all the people who were thoughtful and generous, and
Wasn't
it,
me.
it is appreciated.
Wasn't me. I didn't care
Yeah,
enough
what the
about
heck,
Matt to
Ethan?
send him a Christmas gift.
Where's my gift? Yeah, what the heck?
My gift to you is being present with you during this podcast.
Mm, wow, I have a profound sense of gratefulness right now to be in your presence.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear that you're thankful. Well, cool. You got a lot more interesting stuff to share than I did. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, I think maybe it's time to move on then to updates. We can talk about how 2024, or I'm sorry, how 2025 is going so far. We are recording. Today is, what is today?
The 8th
It is
of
the
January.
8th of January. We're recording on the 8th of January, and yeah, so we're a little over a week in, I guess. I'm feeling pretty good about the year so far.
Good.
Has been busy, but do you want to go first on the updates, Ethan, or do you want me to go?
Depends on if we want to start on a depressed note or end on a depressed note. Let's
You know
start.
what? Let's start on
We'll
on a
end
depressed
cheery.
note. Yeah,
We'll end
we'll
cheery.
end
Matt's
on a
feeling
good note.
optimistic. I'm not feeling optimistic. Start of the year has been okay so far. I had my first lesson or my second lesson with my music licensing coaches. I wrote another song. I created some new. I'm a New Year's. I won't say I'm a New Year's resolution guy. I'm a goal driven person. But I also tend to set like goals that are fairly aggressive, and like I can definitely do them, but I often forget about like my own sanity when I set them. And that's kind of what I'm bumping into right now already. Um, I want to write 40 songs this year, and I don't know.
Oh wow, that's a big jump from last year.
And
That's a huge jump.
I do believe that having aggressive goals causes you to think creatively and outside of the box to make them happen. So that's the benefit, but it also can stress you out a lot. So like I'm coming up with ways that I think I can make that like feasible, but also like keep in mind that's almost a song a week. Like that with like a full-time job and like other stuff going on in my life, that's crazy. All the mixing, all the songwriting, all of that. But at the same time, like music licensing, you got to get your catalog beefed up, right? So like, I don't know if I'll stick to that, but I've been working really hard already this year, and work's crazy right now. Matt and I already talked about this off camera, well, on camera, but not recorded. Work's really crazy right now. I'm trying to get ready to leave my job. And honestly, I am ready for it. I'm just sick of what's going on right now. I'm burnout, and then I'm trying to do that, deal with the stress of work, and things are just like the most stressful and aggressive they've been since I've been at the company. And then I'm also trying to do music stuff on top of that. And like, basically, I've probably shared this on the podcast, but my strategy basically is I have Mondays off. So why am I stressed? I have Mondays off. Yes, it's a privilege, but I also use it as a work day. So it doesn't feel like a rest day because it would be like equivalent to you, Matt, like working in the workshop all day, right? Like it might be more enjoyable for you to do that, but it still requires energy. Like I still get up
Hmm.
early. I still don't take long breaks. Like I treat it like a work day. Um, so I have that, and then on the weekdays, Tuesday through Friday, I tend to work. I get done at work at 4, like actual work, and then I work on music from 4 to 6, and then 6 and after is like all my other to-do list items that aren't music. And so I basically get very little downtime in the evenings because of that. And then on weekends, guess what? Work like most of the day until like 4 or 5 o'clock. Um, so like I'm just with all that, I'm just feeling kind of burnt out right now. Already. So I've already identified that I need to figure out a better strategy. That isn't gonna like result in me like going insane. Um, So it's been a little bit of a rough start to the year, but in some ways it's what's going on at work. In other ways, it's kind of my own making. Like I just so badly want to get to my destination faster. Like I'm tired of like the 9 to 5. I'm tired of the craziness at work. Like I'm just so ready to be done with that I'm like trying to do anything I can to get there faster. And that's actually making things worse. Um So
You're okay. You're like proceeding at a unsustainable pace, basically, where
yeah,
you're burning yourself out.
it's not sustainable. I need to make more time for downtime. Um,
We had an episode about that, Ethan.
I
Come
know, and
on.
I need to listen to it again because I've forgotten everything. Uh, and like I also recently got so I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on like my mixes and stuff. Like when I went to that conference, um, a lot of people I told them I've gotten 4 taxi forwards so far. I actually have 5 now. Um, but like they said, "Oh wow, that's really good." Like usually Taxi only forwards like 2 or 3 songs for every brief. So like that means like you were one of like 2 or 3 people selected to be forwarded. Um and so like that's actually really good for how long you've been with it. I'm like, "Oh, I had no idea." So like that was good feedback. And then like I also had a lot of other people like listen to some of my songs from that conference and they're like, yeah, you're good to go. Like your mixes are where they need to be, or like close enough for to be competitive. And I'm like, okay, great. Um, and I recently had a song that I submitted that that got returned, which means that they didn't forward it. Which, again, fine, right? Um, if they're only forwarding 2 or 3 on to other people or onto the actual listener or requester, then I'm not gonna get selected every time. Um, but they like returned it and they made some comments about this was a vocal song and they made some comments about vocal production. But they don't give a lot of feedback. They give a little bit of feedback to give you like an indicator as to why they returned it, but they don't go in depth. So they might tell you like the vocal production wasn't there, but they won't tell you specifically like what part of the song or like that kind of stuff. So what you can do is you can actually request a more in-depth review and you pay more money for it, but they actually like dig in deep. Well, I got that back like yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was already feeling overwhelmed and like kind of burnout already. And then I read that review and I don't know, it just did not register well with me. Like he made it sound he kind of worded it in a way that made it sound like he thought I was a beginner, and like it stung a little bit because it's like I know you're not saying that to personally attack me or my music, but like I've been working hard for like 3 to 4 years. And for you to compare my mix quality to a beginner, like I'm sorry, that's completely false. Like I'm not a beginner. I may not be an expert, but like a beginner doesn't even know what an EQ is. Like, um, so like they didn't outright say it, but they like kind of beat around the bush in a way that it's like, well, uh, you know, I recommend you work on like practicing mixing and like, recommend you get like a production coach. And I'm like, I already have a production coach, like, um, and so like, it just came at the wrong time. Like at another time when I'm not feeling quite so diminished and overwhelmed, I might have been like, okay, I'll take what I'll take the stuff I can actually act on and be constructive with from this, and then I won't let it get to me too much. But
Hmm.
I kind of was already in that like discouraged, diminished state, so this was very discouraging for me. Um, so like I know it's you got to get used to it. Like any kind of business owner, you got to get used to like negative feedback and people sharing their opinions with you and taking what you can out of it that is actually actionable and constructive, and then not letting it like discourage you too much. But I was just, I don't know, been feeling kind of discouraged from all that. And then on
Hmm.
top of that, like um this isn't as big of a deal, but like my music production coach, I think he and I are going to change our lesson style to be more remote. Again, this is he suggested this so to give me more time back. So basically, he's just going to do mix reviews for me now, right? Like we're not going to meet one on one on a weekly basis anymore. His suggestion, he said, like, you're blowing an hour every week on us talking over a video call, like when you need to be spending time on writing music and mixing music. Like you need to practice. You don't need me to tell you like this, and this. You know what I've been telling you.
Right.
You just need to get the iterations and
Yeah.
repetitions in. And so he suggested, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do virtual lessons, which basically means I send him questions, I send him mixes or like songs I'm working on and mixes, and then he sends me feedback and answers to questions. We're not interfacing directly anymore. And I think it's a good idea for like, especially because I'm like am dealing with burnout, but I'm also kind of a little disappointed because like I like having that um those weekly meetings that I get to talk about what I've been working on and have just talk musician stuff with another musician that has been a freelancer musician, you know. So I'm just finding I'm a little disappointed about it too. Um,
Hmm.
it might be the right move right now. Eventually, I'm gonna get to a point where I'm not gonna want lessons, and this doesn't mean I'm not gonna ever go back to in-person lessons or you know, video call lessons. But I don't know. Again, it was just like another thing, and I'm like, I'm kind of disappointed about that. Um, so yeah, I mean, things have honestly been fine. It's just I'm really ready. I'm really ready to like make music my full-time thing. Like we've both been working at our stuff for a while, you know, and it just it just feels like it's still pretty far away. Um, like I've made tons of progress, but I also feel like I don't have a placement yet. I have taxi forwards, which is a step like is a success in its own, but like it's still not placed in something. And so like uh I don't know. I
What do
I
you? What does that? I think I know what that means, but just for our listeners, can you elaborate on what that means when you say placed in something?
place in something means like a forward means like taxi decided to actually share it with the requester. Like a requester tells taxi, the company, I want this and this. I want a song similar to this that has these attributes. Taxi puts a listing out there. I submit to the listing. Taxi reviews it and they're like, "Yes, I think this is good. I think this is what they're looking for." Forwards it on to the consumer, the requester, customer, whatever you want to call them, and then they listen to it and they decide whether they want to place it in like a TV show or it could be a video game. It could be a lot of stuff. A lot of times it's like a TV show or commercial, a TV show episode or commercial. So placement means it gets placed in one of those things. And if it does get placed in one of those things, you pretty much can guarantee you're going to get money. Because when they air it, they have to pay you royalties. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, I know I'm
I
kind of moping right now, but like I'm just feeling a little bit discouraged.
I understand that. I mean, I get a little down sometimes too, feeling like I'm not where I want to be yet. But I think that realistically, for how long you've really been seriously pursuing this, and with taking into account that you have a full time job, and all those other factors, like I think you're doing pretty good. And I think that the feedback that you got at the conference that said you're in a pretty good spot. I think that that's a pretty good sign that you're headed in the right direction. So, just because 2025 hasn't started off, the greatest, I wouldn't let that discourage you too much. I think you're headed in the right direction, and it's important to, I guess, have that perspective and take a step back and not be
Yeah.
too hard on yourself. And also, if you're feeling that way, then you might just need to take, a break or something for a couple days or whatever. Take a couple days and relax and get some of that free time in, and come back to it when you have kind of renewed yourself.
Yeah. I think like scaling back a little bit. I think realistically thinking I'm going to work 2 hours minimum or an hour to 2 hours minimum every evening no matter what happens at work is can be kind of unrealistic. I think because it again, like you could have a really exhausting day. I could have to work late. I could there might be something already going on that evening, like tonight, Um, so, um, like I think realistically, like a better like threshold is like just get 15 minutes of something done every day.
Hmm.
And if you get more done, great. But like that's all you need to do, then you can check the box and say you've made progress.
Yeah.
Um, I need to just remember that, and yeah, also kind of do what you said, like have some evenings where I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that today, because I work hard. Like on most days, like I legit do probably a half hour to an hour of music work every day, except for like days where like I'm out of town, but like normal days where I'm in town, like that kind of stuff. Literally every pretty much every day. I
Hmm.
practiced drums today for 15 minutes, and then I worked on some other stuff for about 45, so about an hour of music today.
Nice, nice.
Anyway, enough about me. We started with me because I'm probably depressing everyone. So Matt, please cheer us all up.
Well, I'll start by saying I did not have the best day at work today. Um, I I'm not gonna get into that too much. It's fine. I take responsibility for my stuff. I just feel like sometimes I become a scapegoat, and sometimes people make assumptions without really knowing all of the information, and it just frustrates me that I feel like I'm held to a different standard than other people sometimes. Um, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's my it's my job, and I'm grateful for it. Um, I do consider my job to be a blessing, and um, but anyway,
Warms my
on
heart.
to more on to more exciting stuff. You know, truthfully, 2024, I was disappointed in my progress with the guitar stuff. Uh, I started out the year really strong, and then I kind of fell off. And there were reasons for that. I had surgery. I had a lot of different things happen. I moved. I was setting up a new workshop space. Uh, the way I kind of look at it is 2023, or sorry, 2024 was sort of a building year. And I think I'm in a pretty good spot now. So I'm hopeful. Um, I'm kind of trying to think back. Like 2023 felt like a big year for me, because I had gotten into that apprenticeship basically, where I was working in a repair shop, and or I guess that started in 2022 and went into 2023.
That's so long ago now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's
Isn't that crazy?
really nuts. That's crazy.
So yeah, I started that, and I did that for about a year, and I learned a lot. I built some instruments, um, and then yeah, last year, 2023, I started really strong, but to be honest, I wasn't very consistent with doing things regularly. And so far this year, and even in like the near the tail end of December, I've been really making an effort to do that. So even if it's just like a little bit a day, like yesterday I was getting ready to paint something, and so I just started doing some of the paint prep. Just spent a few minutes doing that, and it's still progress.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've just done a pretty good job, I think, balancing things, and I have some really positive things sort of on the horizon. Now that I have this workshop space set up, and my I know I built a couple toolboxes, that sort of thing, some fancy tool chests to hold my hand tools.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to slap some paint on those, but those are pretty much done. So I've got my workshop kind of organized, my workbench is set up, my tool storage figured out. You know, I had to rehab some of my old vintage tools, but for the most part, I'm in a pretty good place to, pursue woodworking stuff. And I've saved up a good amount of money to maybe do an online luthier course. We'll see about that, or even like just some general woodworking classes. That was part of the whole brew making thing. As silly as that is, the last few years I've told myself like I'm going to do some woodworking classes, even if it's not luthier related, just as a way to continue to hone my skills. And then like I had surgery, and then like that the class that I wanted to take was like right around the same time. So like I couldn't do that because I wasn't at that time I wasn't physically able to. Like
Right.
so the last couple of years, for whatever reason, I just haven't been able to make it work. And this year I think I'm going to be able to do more learning opportunities and development opportunities. So I'm pretty excited about that. There is a gnat in here.
Yeah, it's definitely flown
It's
past the camera.
annoying me. I think I got it actually. I think I just
On camera. We caught you on camera murdering life.
I don't even know what to say that, but yeah. So I did have actually
2025 year of Matt Rector.
I do have a project coming up, but I just realized I can't share that because that's also a surprise for someone. Someone asked me to. I'll tell you about it after we get off of the podcast. Someone asked me to make something for them.
Is it me? Are you making
No,
something for
no,
me?
not for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do have some other woodworking related projects coming up. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know. I just have a positive outlook right now. I think things are going well. I'm doing a good job balancing things. I'm making good progress, even if it's just a little bit a day. And I'm also factoring in time to do other important things in my life. And
That's
yeah,
great. You ever feel like you and I are yin and yang? And like when you're down in the dumps, I'm feeling good, and then when I'm down in the dumps, you're feeling good.
It really does. It really does seem that way. But it's funny though, because I did not have a great day at work today. I dealt with some things that were kind of frustrating for me, but I was frustrated by like I was venting to Abby on our way home about some of that stuff.
Mhm.
But it does really seem like that. Sometimes when you're making a lot of progress, I feel like I'm not, and like vice versa. So
Well,
I think that's good though.
good thing we have this podcast and each other to kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, encourage each other, I guess. That is part of
If
the
we
point, right?
Yeah, it's true. If we didn't, do you think we'd be always depressed or always happy?
If we didn't do this, yeah, we'd both just always be, I'd say, I'd like to think depressed, right?
You'd like to think
I'd
depressed?
like to think we'd be depressed without this, like, source
Oh.
of inspiration.
Oh, okay. I see. That this is such a great positive thing.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
see.
I'm somewhat like exaggerating it in a joking way. I do think it's a great thing. But the way that we're talking about it makes it seem like it's a joke. I don't think we'd be depressed, but I do think we maybe are farther along with our endeavors because of this. Like
Yeah,
we've
I
talked
would
about
agree.
solutions to things, and it's helped us keep um it helps us think of other ideas and stuff like that, so, and have
Yeah, and I would
support.
say this podcast has definitely helped drive me some. Oh, one thing I did forget to talk about that is a positive is I've been doing more with social media lately, and have seemed to have some good engagement with that. So that's
Nice.
positive. But anyway, yeah, I think that this podcast has definitely helped drive me, and when I am feeling discouraged, when we talk about this stuff, it does help sort of realign me and get me back on track.
Go us.
So
Go
there you
us.
have it, people. Make sure if you're pursuing some goals, get yourself an accountability partner or just a friend that you can, you know, talk to about that stuff.
And be aware of burnout, and focus on progress, not focus on if you don't hit one of your monthly goals or whatever. It's fine. A lot of people don't hit their monthly goals, but if you made progress from trying to attain your goal, that's still a good thing. So remember to focus on that. See positive.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else for this episode. Do you?
Nope, just that.
All right, folks. That is it for episode 42. Until next time, stay tuned.